All right, on this video, I am going to show you how to find variance and a standard deviation using RGuroo. First, I'm going to start here with a homework question. We have a group of economists that thinks that the variability in median income is small relative to the median income, and that is poorly reflects the growing inequality from town to town and from state to state. They collected data for the median income of working adults across 20 states, given in thousands of US dollars. That's referring to the table. The data are provided below. We are going to use RGuroo. Remember, we don't use Excel. We're going to use RGuroo to calculate the sample standard deviation and the sample variance, right? Very important here to read this carefully. We are talking about a sample. We are collecting data from 20 states. So that doesn't include all of these states in the United States. So we are collecting a sample. So when we go to RGuroo, it's very important to recognize this, that we are hitting the calculations, that we're using the calculations for standard deviation and variance from a sample. So we're going to round to one decimal place. That's for the answers in the boxes. So if we're going there, this is our data set. So we have the 20 values in here. What we need to do is we need to download this CSV to our computer. So I'm going to click in here and have that download to my computer. I will go to RGuroo, and then I am going to open the Data tab. We go to Data Import, and we are going to import a data set. This is going to open this file import window. Our file is on the computer. So you go to choose file, and then depending on where everything is saved for you, mine is in the downloads folder. So I'm going to click on it and open that. And I don't know if you could see that, but I went to the choose files and I just browse in my computer where that file was saved. So it was in my download folders in the computer. You don't need to do anything in here. If you want to rename it so it's easier for you to find, you can do that. So we can go back to the problem and just rename this median income. Something that relates to the problem that we're working with. So we are going to close in here. All right, so the data set is right here. So if we double click in there, here is our data set, 20 values for the 20 states. Now we need to find the standard deviation and the variance for that. For that, you are going to the Analytics tab. So again, this tab in here, Analytics, you're going to open the Analysis tab, and you are going all the way to the numerical summaries. All right, once you are there, select your data set. So it's the median income, and that's why it is important for you to recognize which data set you're working with. So I highly encourage you to change the names so that you know which data set to choose once you have way too many. So it's the median income. We are working with the median income and the thousands US dollars. So this is our variable. So we're going to move this variable to the selected column. You can do that by dragging, as I am doing right here, or you can just select that and then click on the arrow, and that's going to move it to the other side. All right, so once you have that column selected, you go and you click where it says univariate. Okay, and then here is all of our measures. And so here we go and we click on sample variance, not population, because we're working with a sample, and sample standard deviation. Okay, again, that's why it's important that you recognize whether the problem is giving you values from a population or from a sample, so that when you choose in here, you choose the correct one. So we're working with sample. Once you do that, you click on this blue eye in here. And here is your sample variance and your sample standard deviation. So this is 171.5. That is the variance. And I'm rounding to 1 decimal place. And this is 13.1. So back here, 13.1, right? Once you're done, you click submit. And that's all we need to do to find the standard deviation and the variance for this problem. Right, that's what you will do to find all of them. And so here is a problem that is asking you whether this is talking about a sample or a population. So you need to read it carefully. We have a statistic professor ask the students in an intro statistic lecture to fill out a survey. There are 100 students in the course and each one filled out the survey. One of the questions asks a student to state their age. So which one is more appropriate here? Will be a sample or a population? So this one, it's a population because every single student in the class is being asked to complete the survey. So the professor is not just selecting a few out of 100 to fill out the survey. So the population is the whole class of 100 students. Once you have that and you hit continue, this is going to give you now the data. So here is the ages of the 100 students. All right, so again, you don't want to go and type 100 numbers. So instead of that, download the CSV to your computer. Go to RGuroo, and then we're going to do the same. We go to the data tab. We go to data import, and we go to import dataset. From the window, we choose the file. Again, I am going to my downloads and open the new dataset. Here, I'm going to name this stat course so that I know that that is the dataset that I am going to use for the next step. We don't need this, okay? So here is the 100 ages for the students in that class. We go to the analytics tab again, click where it says analysis, open the numerical summaries, select your data set. Again, I named mine age stat course. The age of these students is the variable. Drag it or click in here to move it. Go to univariate. We are working now with the population. So population variance, population standard deviation, and we click on the blue eye, and here we have our numbers. So it's 11.7 for the variance. So here for the variance, 11.7 and 3.4 for the standard deviation. Right, so once we have that, we hit submit, and there we go. All right, so I'm gonna hit continue, see what I get. All right, so this is the other problems that you need. It's about C-scores. So for the C-scores, I'm gonna go to RGuroo, and I am going to open the calculator. Scientific calculator is enough. So for the C-score, you need a formula. So the formula is always the value from the data set. So it's the value. Let me just do this like a fraction. So it's your data value minus the mean over the standard deviation. Okay, so that's the formula that you need. Obviously, it's giving me an error because this is not an actual formula. But how are we going to use RGuroo to answer questions like this? So again, you have a data set with 12 values. So we have 12 values for 25 to 34, and then from 45 to 54. So here is asking me the C-score for the household led by people ages 25 to 34, which is the first column. And then the C-score for the household led by people ages 45 to 54. And so let me read the problem. To conduct the research, the employees randomly select 100 households in the region led by people ages 25 to 34 and 100 households in the region led by people. Each household has how much was spent in restaurant in the previous 12 months. The amounts spent for each household in dollars are previously provided in the sample below. Okay. Okay, so we need to use, when we find score, C-score, we find the C-score for a particular value. So we are going to find the C-score for the data value that represents the household that spent 1,924 in restaurants for each of the groups. So our value from the data set is going to be 1,924. So that is this value here, right? So now for each of the columns, we need to find the mean. And we need to find the standard deviation because we need to complete this formula that we have in here. So again, we have 100 observations times 2, that's 200. So again, no, I'm not going to ask you to type them all. So download the CSV. Go to RGuroo, data import data set. Choose the file from your computer. And then once you have it, again, remember that you can always rename this. And so this is restaurants spending. Let's do upload. Right, so we don't need this because anyway, we need to find the mean. So here is my column from 25 to 34 and 45 to 54. All right, so we did that. We're done there. So now we're going to analytics, analysis, numerical summaries. All right, again, we're working with the spending on the restaurants. We need to find this for both columns. So both go to the selected. We go to univariate. Now we need the mean. And we need, so it says that they randomly select 100 household. So this is a sample. So we need the sample standard deviation. All right, again, we need the mean and the standard deviation because that is, I'm going to do the blue eye in here so I get my numbers. But if we go back to the calculator, that's what we need. We need the mean and we need the standard deviation. So I'm going to do this for the first one. So again, our value is 1,924. 1,924. 1,924. All right, that minus the mean. So we're here. I'm going to work with this group first for the 25 to 34. This is the mean. So I'm just going to copy and paste it on the calculator. Yeah, there. And then I need the standard deviation. And that's why I calculated here the standard deviation. I don't need the variance. So copy and paste it in the denominator. I am going to delete this so that I can get a number without the error. That's not what I want to do. I think it's the comma. Yes, all right, okay. So no commas in the calculator. So here is my C-score for that group. So let me just go back here. I need 2 decimal places, all right? And I am doing 25 to 34. So this box. So let's go back here. 2 decimal places will be 1.90. So back here, 1.90. Now let's do the same thing with the other group. Okay, so let's go back. Now the other group is this group here. So this is the mean that I need now. So again, I'm going to copy and paste. Not here, here. So I have 1,924, which is the value, minus the mean, and I'm going to take the comma out because the calculator doesn't like the commas, and then the standard deviation in the denominator. And then the C-score here is negative 0.53 because we need to round. Okay, so we go here and we change that 2 with a 3 because of the rounding. So these are the z-scores for those two groups. You click submit, and there they are. Here is the formulas again. You can do this by hand with a calculator, or just use the calculator on RGuroo. All right, so I think this answers those questions on how to use RGuroo for this homework. If you have any question, just let me know.